Mosque in Mecca has been Islam's most sacred mosque for over 1,000 years. This is because it is home to the Kaaba, a cube-like granite building erected by Abraham thousands of years ago. The most intriguing part of the Kaaba is the so-called black stone built into its eastern outer corner. Muslims believe that an angel revealed the stone to Abraham in order to provide him with the precise location he was to build the Kaaba. Is this just a fanciful story, or is there some truth in it? As the Kaaba's precise origins are unknown, it's impossible to say exactly when it was built. What is certain is that a pagan shrine existed in the area of what is now Mecca well before the rise of Islam and had been a site of pilgrimage for several centuries. And what is the black stone? Could it be a meteorite that fell to Earth on exactly this spot, as many believe? If that was so, the stone would indeed be a sign from heaven, which could in turn have established the tradition of pilgrimage to the site. At some point in the past, the stone broke into a number of pieces and is now held together by a silver frame fastened to the Kaaba. However, even though it can be seen and touched by Muslims, it's impossible to examine the black stone scientifically as it's built into the Kaaba itself. This is one reason the stone's nature and origins continue to be the cause of much debate. Some theories believe it to be an agate or a piece of volcanic glass like obsidian. Some Muslims believe that the stone predates even Abraham and fell from the sky during the time of Adam and Eve. It's also said that at that time the stone was not black at all, but dazzling white.
Going in reverse.
St. Vitus Cathedral.
Where's the stone? Where is
It's
this?
Mecca. It's,
Mecca?
yeah.
The city of Prague, the capital of what is now the Czech Republic, has always been a place of magic, mystery, and great significance. In 1344, the foundation stone of the Gothic Cathedral of St. Vitus was laid by God himself. As well as the tombs of Bohemian kings and Holy Roman emperors, the cathedral contains the relics of 3 saints. It's only natural, therefore, that astrology and alchemy played an important role in the construction of the cathedral. Some of this lore was revealed by the early 20th century French alchemist Fulcanelli. In his books, he showed that cathedrals are encoded with the secrets of the alchemical great work of transmutation. These secrets are clear only to the initiated, but it is certain that St. Vitus Cathedral is part of a grand scheme involving knowledge passed down through the centuries. For a deeper insight, we had to go back in time to the 11th century when a Romanesque basilica was built on the site of the future cathedral. Shortly afterwards, 2 rotundas were built on the opposite bank of the river Vltava. Together they form a straight line that starts at St. Vitus and continues through the rotunda of the Holy Cross and onto St. Longin's rotunda. This in itself is not so unusual, but Prague's Romanesque churches follow an even more complex pattern. This line continues right across Europe and finishes in Jerusalem. To calculate such a precise azimuth requires, among other knowledge, the understanding that the Earth is not flat. Much Hellenistic astronomy was lost to Christians, but flourished among Islamic scholars who proved the astrolabe and believed in a moving spherical Earth. Is it possible that this knowledge and mastery of astronomy could have reached Prague even before the Crusades? The bulb.
Nice stone.
Very little is known of Baalbek before Alexander the Great conquered it, along with the rest of ancient Syria. However, Research suggests that the area has been inhabited since around 8000 BC. Baalbek is a Phoenician name. The Baal is the god of the gods, and the Bek is the field of Beka. The ancient Greeks called it Heliopolis, meaning the city of the sun. The most interesting site is probably the impressive Temple of Jupiter. But this is not because of the 6 columns that have remained standing until the present day, or because the huge blocks of stone on top of these columns weighed up to 60 tons each. What is truly astonishing is that these stones are dwarfed by those that were used to build the platform itself, which are 10 times as large. It's estimated that 3 of the monoliths used for the construction of the platform weigh 800 tons each. But who built the platform? Some claim it existed before Roman times. Others believe that it could not have been built by human hands alone. One well-known theory claimed that it was a landing site for alien spaceships. It's also been attributed to King Solomon and to other biblical characters.
Biblical.
In a Roman quarry not far from the temples lie 2 stone blocks with similar dimensions to those used for the platform. And just a year ago, archaeologists discovered the largest of them all. This, they believe, proves that the platform was also built by the Romans. But why? And how? And why do no other Roman temples use such gigantic blocks?
Did it once and realized it was a bad idea.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Teotihuacan.
Damn
I
right.
mean, once
We
you
gotta
start,
go
you gotta
small.
finish. But next time,
Teotihuacan, birthplace of the gods. This is the name the Aztecs gave to this vast city when they discovered it. Archaeologists believe that sometime around the 5th century, it was the center of a powerful culture and one of the largest cities in the world at that time. The site includes pyramids comparable to the largest pyramids in Egypt.
This is Egypt?
The other stepped
This is South
pyramids and
America.
platforms, originally topped with temples, were built on either side of the central Avenue of the Dead.
I know Machu Picchu's.
But who ruled this city?
Machu Picchu.
And how were they able to stay in power? The city had no fortifications.
Yeah.
Did the rulers possess special powers that kept other peoples at bay for so
I
many
remember where the
centuries?
Aztecs were.
As this ancient culture left behind no written records,
Aztecs from Mexico.
researchers have been left scratching their
Then it's
heads.
Mexico.
Recently, however, some amazing discoveries have been made in the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, the 3rd largest pyramid in Teotihuacan. A tunnel deep below the ground leads into a chamber beneath the temple. Recently, a remote-controlled robot discovered hundreds of mysterious yellow spheres made of clay and originally covered with pyrite. And in 2015, archaeologists were completely baffled when they found large quantities of liquid mercury. This is a good opportunity to try and understand what is the significance of these types of tunnels. The hypothesis that we have is the possibility that these chambers could contain the remains of important people.
Just be so pushy. Please.
Borobudur.
Put that in your purse.
The Temple of Borobudur was completed in the 9th century
Burma?
AD. Later, it was buried under volcanic ash. It lay hidden for 8 centuries until explorers unearthed it. They were amazed by the ornamented stepped pyramid, and especially by the terrace walls, full of
Don't fall on
bas
me.
relief sculptures. Later, it was revealed that Borobudur was built on a small hillock on a sacred volcanic plain. The hill, however, was raised in height and enlarged artificially. Millions of buckets of soil
Are you
had to be
hungry?
moved. Why did the builders undertake such a colossal effort? And why was